What up? What up? What up? Welcome in here to Pregaming on the Sports Money Network. It doesn't seem right without a little bit of music as we get into this thing, so I will be committing to that this evening, you guys. Hope everyone is doing well this Monday, Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with each of you. That's such a corny thing, but what a big week. We got Star Wars Day today. We've got, how about Cinco de Mayo on Taco Tuesday? I mean, is that not an intersecting opportunity to crush margaritas and tacos and lunchtime? I don't know. It sounds exciting to me. I might have to look into that and get it done here. But big week ahead, of course, here as we chart the way with the new Sports Money Network. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the inaugural weekend launch here. We had a huge Friday, a monster Saturday, a giant Sunday. And we're just rolling it back, continuing to do what we do, and that is put the bookies on notice. This is one of the truly see, I'm going to say this because it is us versus the bookies, but they don't all feel that way. And I was this many days old when I realized after turning down somebody that wanted a show on my network that I've been living rent-free in their head ever since. So, we reach for the stars. We don't climb in the mud with the pigs. Nobody wants to watch a cripple kid get abused. You know what I mean? So anyhow, we're going to move forward and leave it at that. But we've got a big show ahead. It's exciting times. Excited to partner. Excited to grow. But not everybody. See, winners focus on winning. Losers have nowhere to go, so they just talk about the winners. And so it's going to be a lot of fun, you guys. Excited to break down the games tonight. Man, I didn't realize the NBA playoff run that I've been on. And we're going to continue that dominance today. I've got 2 plays for you guys in the NBA plus a player prop. I've got 2 plays for you in the NHL plus a player prop. I don't know. I've got 3 or 4 nerfy yerfies. We're going to go on to leg number 3 of the nerfy yerfie challenge. We cashed the Thursday night. I think it was the Phillies. Then Friday's the yes run in the Minnesota Twins. So today becomes leg 3. I might have to start doing this thing, though, just sequentially. Meaning Saturdays and Sundays, too. Maybe I'll just put a video up for that because I don't like stopping. Taking off Saturday and Sunday, not to count it as part of the rollover challenge. Like, dude, when you're hot, you stay hot. You know how winners, they just win and losers just bitch about the winners? When you're hot, you stay hot. So I don't want to stop being hot just because it's a Saturday and I'm not live on a show. So I might have to put something out there for you guys. But I'm very excited about the NHL here. We'll talk a little bit about both those games in some detail. I've got, like I said, 3 or 4 nerfy yerfies out there, including the challenge. I'm going to bring you guys some follow-up confirmations on 3 big spots that, frankly, I want to make some premium spots there before we get into the. Listen, I like what our guy Razor Sharp Pick said the other day there. He's doing a welfare check on Nasty Nate. See, that's a friend. He's checking in. He's not asking for anything. He just wants to make sure he's doing okay. It was a tough Friday for the Bruins. It was a tough Saturday for the Celtics. I reached out to him as well. I reached out to him and said, listen, the Celtics did not smash WTF. But look, the Flyers did not smash on Saturday. They got smashed, in fact. So we'll talk a little bit about that. But player props, we'll talk about the sharp respected betting report. I don't wish I was lying. I guess I can control whether I'm lying or not. But we slithered our way to a massive 9-in-1 day. See, that's what happens when you cap multiple sports. You don't need to bring in 15, 20 people to do it. You get your friends together that are winners and you win. And that's what we did on Friday. We cashed, we kicked ass, we took names. The only spot that we lost on Friday, literally the only spot that we lost here on the inaugural launch day, day 1 of the Sports Money Network, was that White Sox San Diego Padres under. We always start to show off recap, and it's got to be, all about transparency here. How do you know if the guy that's, spitting, running their bitchy little mouths are 50 units on the losing side of things? You don't know. You don't know unless there's transparency. So that's the most important thing here. 23.5 saves over for Dobes. Got the job done. How about the Montreal Canadiens? Another year with first round Eastern Conference team taking an L. The Tampa Bay Lightning got the win for us, though. That was a nice little gem. The Detroit Pistons got the win for us, -3.5. The Buffalo Sabres beat up Boston 4-1. We got that win. Toronto beats up Minnesota 7-3. The Houston, how about this Lakers and Houston team total under spot? I'm telling you, man, streaks are not trends, but trends can be our friends. You would think it's Uncle Mo that's in town after a team goes up 3 and then drops the next 2. But we showed you, we told you when it comes to game 6s, and then you've got the game 7 factors out there. It was the Lakers +3.5. It was the team total under for Houston. Man, what did Houston get? 78 points. Remember I said this shows it's going to go under by 30. The NBA ain't as tough as some of those boys make it look. You know what I mean? They want to make it look tough because they're too slow to figure out how to move fast. But we move quickly because we got the New York Mets 4-3. We pushed the over 6 in Vegas, and I gave you the Vegas Golden Knights as well. So, boy, how about that for a start to May? 7.9 units. Congratulations to Razor Sharp Picks and the horse racing programming, Racing with Razor, Friday and Saturday. The Kentucky Oaks and the Kentucky Derby picked up a massive, 65,000 views, 70,000 views. Incredible work. We got up at 4 a.m. and kept UFC. And we made a bunch of money doing that as well. Plus 750 right off the game. I was proud of myself because I didn't start drinking until we got to the main card. I still had to sleep for like 4 hours after that was done, man. That was just a herder. But all good, all fun. Shout out to Guillermo Zertucci in the house. Razor Sharp is here. Stop Geo in the house. Coletta. Nicholas Handy. Appreciate all you guys, man. Let's go. Let's do it. Let's have ourselves a day. What do you say? We make these bookies pay. Us versus the bookies. I put a logo, or I thought it was the meme of the day. You wouldn't let an asshole in your house. So why would you let him live rent free in your head? It tells you there's more behind the story. You know, you got a lot of slanderous negativity. There's a lot of pukes, you know, a lot of fucking guys that wish they were doing something. Anyhow, I digress. I'm going to go out of order here today because I'm going to pop this thing off. I gave it to you guys earlier. It's leg, 1, 2, 3. This is leg 3 of the rollover challenge. $92.36. Rolling over, rolling on the yes run first inning in the New York Mets Colorado Rockies game. Excuse me. I'm giving it to you now because that game starts in 30 minutes. They moved it up to accommodate for weather, for elements. So several of you guys have reached out to me talking about this heater that we've been on with the Nerfies and Yerfies. So I wanted to come and bring some to the table today. We might as well just knock these out. Let's go on. Let's talk about this second one I've got for you guys. I'm going to go with the Phillies and Marlins. No run first inning. First of all, it's a divisional game. We see a ton of familiarity with these guys and their pitching abilities. Aaron Nola's been doing pretty fair. He's got a 30% strikeout rate. Pretty fair, right? On the other side of things, you know, Miami coming into this thing with Jansen Junk, as we learned today on Bases Loaded. German fella. But I think these two guys can come out here right off the gate and hold things down for the first inning. No run first inning. And so we've got a Yerfie. We've got a Nerfie. Let's go Toronto and Tampa Bay. The other side of the state of Florida will go no run first inning in the Toronto and Tampa Bay game as well. Toronto, Tampa Bay, both teams are averaging under 4.5 runs a game in their home and away situations. So low and no scoring be the case. It's crazy because Tampa's not scoring at home and Toronto's not scoring on the road. So collectively, it just felt like that's a really nice Nerfie. -113 on that price tag. The Phillies one was -110. Trying to find reasonable priced spots for us here to cash with these opportunities. Going to load it up for you guys. Going to fire off a whole bunch of heaters. Let's see. I think I got one more. Scrolling through my action. Yep, I got one more for you guys. Let's go on out to the old West Coast and talk a little bit about the hot Atlanta Braves and their pitching abilities with the Seattle Mariners. On top of that as well, I'm going to go with no run first inning in that game as well. So that'll round us out. Look, I guess I would say it's probably the number one pitching stadium in Major League Baseball. And it's got a low number despite the Atlanta Braves, kind of being red hot right now. I think it's a good opportunity. T-Mobile Park, the number one pitcher park, should see no runs first inning. So we've got no run first inning in Seattle. We've got no run first inning in Toronto and Tampa. We've got no run first inning in Philly and Miami. And we've got yes run first inning in the Mets in Colorado. So, other breaking news here on the Pregaming, getting you guys ready, your last stop, your final destination, as it will, to get yourself ready, get informed so that you can make winning betting decisions. And yes, Skubal, not pitching today. I read he's going to have surgery, and they got to clean some shit out of his something. His elbow's got something going on in there. And I basically, when I read it, I said to myself, that sounds like scar tissue they're cleaning out of his elbow as a preemptive strategy. But it's funny because I did talk about how these guys that did pitch in the World Baseball Classic, like the month of April, kind of gave us an edge early in the season because these guys were facing competitive baseball. Then they roll into the month of May, and now they're kind of stretched out. And literally, now we see Skubal bounced out of that son of a bitch. So, what are you going to do? I hate that game. I like fucking Detroit's first five. It doesn't matter how I play it. It just never, I'm not saying it's a loser yet, but it doesn't feel like it's going to help the winning when you take out Skubal. Shout out to Dale Fick. Shout out to Nicholas Hanley. Shout out to Ixnizzle in the house. What up, Ick? Guillermo Zertucci. Same thing Edwin Diaz is having. All right. Difficult, disappointing. Hey, I found something interesting today in the world of sports as we were diving into this thing, and I was kind of just idling around looking at today's card. How about this, man? Rick Barnes, Tennessee head coach. He's going to take a $2.1 million salary reduction. Why? Because he's going to give it to star transfer Juke Harris. He says, I want to win it all. I'm fine skipping a few meals to make that happen. I'm not thinking Ricky Barnes is missing any meals. I mean, shit, even if he eats at the dining hall, he's still capitalizing and cashing out. So I think that's the new direction. Where are we going to come up with some of these NIL dollars to be competitive? Well, let's take it from the coach. Let's give it back to the players. All of that being said, you guys, I'm fired up and ready to be here. We've given off some Nerfies and Yerpies as the show started here because we've got 5:40 p.m. first pitch for that Mets and Colorado Rockies game. So let's do the thing. Let's get to it. Let's talk some sports before we get to the business of the business. Need you guys to help us continue to support the community. Thumbs up buttons are greatly appreciated. It costs you nothing. It helps us a ton. There's lots of ways to get involved and support the new home of the Sports Money Network here. And that is by way of, showing your support and gratitude. Thumbs up and comments. The most appreciated, most important thing you can do is just kind of letting YouTube and Twitter know, hey, we like what them boys are doing. They are winners. They are the most winningest channel on YouTube. Let me support them. I don't need to see them talk about. Never mind. But I do like living rent free. That being said, guys, thumbs up button, most appreciated thing you can do. You can certainly go find our premium packages over there, respectively, at Winnable. I was going to say Win Club, Winnable, and the Dub Club. But look, we're trying to give back. I posted a card yesterday as well for all the Sports Money Network members. If you guys haven't done so already, get yourselves green, go big, make that green. And we'll hook you guys up with all kinds of appreciation, respect, and some love as we build this community. Gotta have that lion roar. Doesn't that just make it all worthwhile? All right, you guys, I'm fired up. I mentioned this. I'm excited about the card here tonight. I'm going to give you guys some spots that you may not be ready for. You may not think you may even say, hey, is this guy homering us? Because the first game I'm going to start with are the Philadelphia Flyers and the Carolina Hurricanes. Now, I've told you guys, trends, I mean, this is all about development, isn't it? You know, I'll tell you what, when you're building something and people come to you and they're like, hey, can we have a show? You gotta pride yourself on your intuition. You never want somebody that's running away from something just because they got let go or they got pushed aside or reduced. And now they're like running away because they got nowhere to go and it's a desperate place. You got to sniff that out. You got to say, no, you're not welcome here. But besides character, it's all about development. And that is what we are doing here. That's why it's important the people that come into this equation are truly top notch, because can't just have any slabo out there slipping plays out, giving you guys losing bets. So it's about development. It's about education. We can talk about streaks. Everyone's going to talk about streaks. I want to talk about some trends here. Let's talk about these playoff trends because, man, they have been on fire. The Lakers, the Spurs, even the Sixers the other day. Round 2. Actually, rounds 2 and 3, frankly. Game 2, take the dog. Couldn't be any more simple, could it? Series 2 or 3. Game number 2 of the series. 63 and 49. Now, it's not the biggest of win margins. I know we try to find that 60% or better range, and we found an absolute ton of them, right? But the big difference here is over 19 years, that bounce back dog spot makes a lot of sense. Now, it's profitable to the tune of over 38 units in that sample, despite it being just slightly over 50%. And now you're looking at the Philadelphia Flyers at a plus 215. Two things to look at. 225, excuse me. Key player being out of the lineup last night or 2 nights ago. Big problem. You're not going to beat probably the best team in the East without all your horses running. Now, that was a feel around game. That was a feel around. Flyers are looking at that thing. They're trying to feel their way around in the dark. What's this Hurricanes team going to do? We talked about it before and said they'd gone to overtime every single game. The difference with this game, they were flat-footed. There's 3 things that they did wrong in game number 1, and these are super easy to correct. First, they made 2 stupid turnover plays that immediately resulted in goals. Immediately, like they were in their own zone. They were chipping them up the boards on both times. Just kind of lazy, sloppy hockey. Without those, this game goes from 3-0 to 1-0. And in a coin flip, we should be able to find some net. 2, they passed the puck in front of their own goal. You've never passed. They teach you this back in mites, the very first recreational or organized hockey levels that you can play in. They teach you that from the get-go. Never put the puck in front of your own net. Don't pass across it. Don't drop it in front. Don't do anything to put that puck in front of your own goal. 3, they look tired. They're flat-footed across the blue line. Flat-footed in that if you watch a lot of teams, so there's some strategy behind the NHL that people may or may not be aware of. You never want to just be standing there waiting for the puck, right? If you watch these guys, and this is why offsides kind of becomes somewhat of a factor, these guys are moving across the line. They're moving horizontally across or vertically. I guess it depends on your situation of how you're looking at the game. They're moving down the line, the blue line specifically, because you need to have motion. Objects in motion tend to stay in motion, create motion out there. And that's exactly what they were not doing. They were standing there on the blue line, waiting for the puck to come in. They got caught flat-footed and were not able to, move quickly enough to prevent offsides and just sloppy, sluggish hockey. So all of those should be corrected. You got to remember that was a tough series against the Penguins. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. And I know in this case here, over the last 18 years, that benefit of doubt has paid profitably. Speaking of profitably, I'm going to take Logan Stankoven to get over 2.5 shots on goal. This is going to be a player prop for you guys in this NHL game. And the reason I went with Logan Stankoven simply, I think there's a way to maximize this guy's effect. 1, over 2.5 shots on goal. Granted, the Flyers weren't shooting, but I think they can fix that. Shout out to Lightning Strikes. Shout out to Cleveland Pops in the house, the 216, baby. So Stankoven, listen, this dude is the straw that stirs the drink. He is the spoon that stirs the pot of razor sharp porridge here. This guy has been the key. He scored 4 of 5 goals to start the season, to series off, right? So he's got 4 goals in 5 games to start the playoffs. Now he's got what? Yeah, 4 goals in 5. First goal in every one of those games on top of that. So I think the way you hammer this guy is you take his over 2.5 shots, way too low. I know it's minus 130, but I just think that's way too low. 2, you take him to score a goal, and 3, and that's like plus 200. And then 3, you take him to score the first goal. It's sitting around 1,100, 1,200. That's Logan Stankoven. And yes, I'm on the Flyers to win. So there's a plethora of plus money to tack into there for you guys when it comes to that first game. And frankly, we need the Flyers to put that extra gear in there after, last playoff series. But I think tonight they can find a way. I think the goal is, you know what, we're okay, boys. We're still alive. Let's split this series and let's go back home and see if we can't take it back to Philadelphia. So game number 1. Game number 2, going to be a little different, though. So we got player props. We got sides, totals. I'm going to go to a team total in game number 2 here. And this one shouldn't surprise anybody with the Vegas Golden Knights and the Anaheim Ducks. I think this is going to be a feel it out series as well. We'll have to see exactly who's doing what as it comes down to it here. But rather than getting involved in the side, let's just pick on the shitbag goalie, right? I mean, I lean to the Vegas Golden Knights. The reason I lean to Vegas is because I think the experience pulls out and prevails. And it's not just experience at as far as the lineup is concerned. They've got experience in every facet of the game that I think makes the Vegas Golden Knights the team to win here. Now, you can't handicap the youth and the surprise that could be here, but very similar line value to, or line index to, what we saw last night with the Tampa Bay Lightning game. Sitting around a minus 166, minus 170. They got the experience as the players and personnel. They got the Stones, the Eichels, the Marners, and they're deep into the playoffs. 2, they've got the coaching edge. They're going to deal with Tortorella. I think he gives them the edge. This guy's just no nonsense. Tortorella out there should be able to help them draw up the X's and O's. And 3, they're the home team. So they get to create the favorable matchups when it comes to faceoffs, when it comes to icings, just line change, power plays, penalty kills. The home team gets the last change in the NHL. So I like Vegas for those reasons, but I don't like them enough to drop $1.70 on them. So I'll just take Lucas Dostal as the biggest pile of shit in the playoffs right now. 3.87 goals against average is an 87.3% save percentage. And I'm getting a 5.5 on the Vegas Golden Knights. I'm sorry, 3.5 on the Vegas Golden Knights team total. So over 3.5 minus 1. Over 3.5 minus 105 for the Vegas Golden Knights team total was the number I was able to lock in. And we'll take it. We'll attack it. We'll see if that gets us paid, you guys. That is the NHL top to bottom. Pops likes the Vegas and Eichel goal spots out there. Bethany, what up? In the house. Nobody's Nerfix says Stankoven now has 6 goals in the NHL. 5 of them now have been the first goal. Haven't? No, 4 of them I think have been. No, 5. I think it is 5 now. All first goals, if I'm not mistaken. Anyhow, Tyler Watson says, "Oh, I'm sick. I took the Red Sox under 3.5 runs in the first 5. He's gonna puke." That sucks, dude. Well, but it's not dead yet. You know what I mean? Dang it, dope. Brian Hayes under a half a hit. Pody Zerfix says, which team has the shitbag goalie? Hart has 89.1%. Dostal. Dostal's got the worst goalie percentage in the NHL playoffs right now. So surprisingly, the Flyers goalie is the only one that had 2 shutouts in the postseason. Speaking of them Flyers, but that's the way we're going to attack it. So we've covered the NHL playoffs. We've covered Nerfies and Yerfies. That Yerfie is going to start in about 12 minutes. You guys don't want to miss it. That is going to be leg number 3 of the rollover. Let's talk a little baseball. Peter Grassi says he heard Scooble is out. He certainly is. Certainly is. All right, you guys, if you're just tuning in, if you're catching us on the replay, shout out to the replay squad, man. I see some of you guys that love to see your comments when you are watching the replay. Gets us motivated, fired up to get more out to you guys. And means a lot when you guys take the time out. You can watch anything. You can be anywhere. But you choose to be with winners. And that's what we're doing here at the Sports Money Network. I'm going to give you guys a big, juicy winner here. Let's talk Baltimore and Yankees. Because the more I look at, now this is uncomfortable. They ain't going to like this one. We cash this one. They're going to be mad. We're looking at the Baltimore Orioles. Crazy, isn't it? Isn't that crazy? How about this? The Yankees are minus 194. 92% of the bets and 94% of the cash are on the Yankees. Now, I was saying this to the show earlier today, so I don't want to be redundant or repetitive, but some of you may not have caught that replay, so I will share it with you. We talk about this capping, like, some of these bozos out there will, be loud and outspoken and they'll read off like some stat lines and they'll tell you there's a lot of strip clubs in Miami. Got to watch out. It's going to affect his performance. I mean, okay, whatever. But, bottom line is we try to look for patterns and try to tap into these frequencies in the universe that can pull down, just like we've been doing in these NBA playoffs. Now, I mentioned that because ain't it weird that this game 4 of the series is ending on a Monday? Doesn't that feel a little weird? I was looking at it going, Jesus, what? I'm putting the graphics together for the show earlier today, and I'm like, these guys playing a 5-game show. I had to go back and look. Now it is Schlittler. Schlittler's not invincible, though. We've seen he did have a good performance. He's been playing well. He's got a 1.5 ERA. He ain't the only guy going. And I know that the bats are on fire for the Yankees. I get all of that going into this. But I preface this by saying, ain't it weird this series finishing on a Monday? To me, it was weird. So it begged the question, how often does this happen? Games being played on a Monday? Well, game 4 of a series played on a Monday. The team's money line is over a plus 116. The opponents won 3 of the 4 games in the series. So you're trying to prevent the sweep. 5 times it's happened in 19 years. All 5 times the dog has cashed. All 5 times. So we're taking this anomaly that is a Monday night series closing baseball game in the AL East, by the way, which is typically very competitive. Add into it, you got the Boz, former Tampa Bay Ray, has a lot of experience against this New York Yankees lineup. So it's a bomb. It's not it's not for the faint of the heart, but we're taking some shots today. We had a good day on Friday, and we're not going to get skirmish and start schemish. Squeamish is the word I was looking for. What's the play? You want to be put safe and put up a plus 1.5 at even money? Guess what? They're either winning this game or they're getting smoked. And so, no, that's why we take a shot with the bomb. And when we can get some validation behind why it makes sense to take that bomb, then we do just that. So when you look at this lineup, though, I mentioned the Boz. Man, it's hot up in my office today. Woo, it's 73, but it feels every bit of it here, boys and girls. Against Boz, Jazz Chisholm, 7 at-bats, 5 hits, 714. Anybody that's got more experience than that, though, struggling. Trent Grisham, 6 at-bats, 1 hit. Even the Judge, all rise, 10 at-bats and 4 hits for a 400. So we'll see. Ultimately just need to score one more run than the other team. And can Schlittler shut everybody down? I don't know. Time will tell. We'll see. But I like the price tag. I like the shot. And I like the validation with the anomaly that comes into play here. I see some plays coming in the chat from you guys. Razor Sharp Picks. He's coming in. $500 play for you guys. He's got the Vegas Ducks. Second period, both teams to score. He's got the Razor's Edge play of the day coming to the Sports Money Network. Right. There's win, baby. We got Freaky Facebook Friday. Give you guys the golden ticket on Friday. That was an easy casher. Then Tampa Bay Rays, man. Like them unders at home. Shout out to Razor Sharp. The old Razor's Edge coming on, and here comes the Razor's Edge. Let's go, man. Plus 116 for Razor Sharp picks. All right, so we're going to go for a bomb. We're going to go bomb chasing here for this first game in this playoff, in this Major League Baseball lineup this evening. Got a couple more Major League Baseball plays for you guys. We'll talk some NBA. We'll talk some sharp, respected betting information, and then we'll get you guys out the door. Let's say you. Does that sound good to you guys? So I already gave you the no-run first inning in this Atlanta Braves game. I'm going to kind of double down on this thing with the full game under 7.5. You got an absolute boatload of money coming in on these guys. 88% of the bets, 85% of the cash are on the over 7.5. And guess what? She ain't moving. Then you look at the Brave side of things here. Plus 135. They've now plus 123. I said this yesterday. I said this earlier today. They took out Cal Raleigh yesterday. Gave him a scheduled rest day so that they could be fired up for the game today. But you have 50-50 essentially on the cash, but 94% of the bets, 94% of the cash rather. I really screwed that up. 49% of the bets, 94% of the cash on the hot Atlanta Braves. Now, they can win. They can lose. For some reason, they like batting behind J.R. Ritchie. He's got himself a sub-3 ERA. Logan Gilbert comes in here with a 4. But you know what we want. You know what I want? I want to talk to Samson. I want to get involved in some intersecting zeros. That is what I want. That is where we want to play. That is where we want to operate. Man, I'm going to have to kick a fan on. We're heating up in this piece. It's fucking hot. You guys don't feel that? You don't feel that heat? Red hot heat, bro. Let's talk about it. Sorry, it's cooking. I got no water. And I'm starting to feel a sweat. The Braves are 11-0 to the under. Versa righty. They scored more than 10 runs, walked more than 5 bases, in a game that went over the total by 5 or more runs. In other words, they blew their load. And they're averaging 5 runs the following game. 5.1 to be exact in that Atlanta Braves spot. Logan Gilbert, he finds himself as an under pitcher. Put him at home as a favorite of more than a minus 120. If he lost his last start to this team, it's a bounce back opportunity for him. And he's averaging 4 runs a game in those spots. But last but not, I don't know, am I stroking out? Am I having a stroke today? Am I just having a tough time talking? The Seattle Mariners are 7-0 to the under. Series openers against righties. How about that? They're averaging 5.3 runs a game. So it's low for a reason. 7.5. They're trying to scare everybody away with one of the hottest hitting teams in baseball. And we ain't scared. We're going to take a shot with that under 7.5. Double down on that Nerfy. I got the under 7.5 at minus 102 at FanDuel. Shout out to Truth Teller. Let me ask you guys this. I just saw this FanDuel thing. Did you put your tinfoil hats on from Saturday? Did you hear? Did you see it? Did I save it? Did I repost it? I don't want to get myself mixed up in the ether, but I was just thinking about FanDuel. Specifically as it relates to the Kentucky Derby. I wonder if Razor's still in here to validate this for me. But they're saying the narrative was that it was going to be the year of the woman. Not grown men that are, or I should say grown women that are pretending to be men that are actually chicks. Not that. But an actual woman as a trainer to win the Kentucky Derby. They're saying that was kind of this fixed narrative. Not some whiny little chick pretending to be a dude who's got me living rent-free in their head. But I'm talking about actual woman. That woman wins the Derby. Here's where I'm going with this. FanDuel mysteriously has this outage for what, like 2 hours before the Derby? Can't place any bets on the horse racing. And so the horse track on Friday, when he won the Kentucky Oaks, sent out their congratulations on your first ever Kentucky Derby win. Did they script it? Did they leak the script? And they knew it was a push for women to win the first ever trainer of the Kentucky Derby horse. And then FanDuel mysteriously goes down. I don't know. Was it all fixed? That's what I guess I'm trying to ask. I don't know if you guys caught any of that, but I did see a post that was reposted after the winner, 19 hours prior to. It was the folks at the horse track posting out there, congratulations on your Kentucky Derby win, even though they meant to say he won the Kentucky Oaks. You guys buying what I'm putting down? Anybody believing that there's a potential that thing was fixed? We know the Ortiz brothers fire. But anyways, I just saw FanDuel and I was talking about FanDuel and it made me think about FanDuel, and FanDuel still hasn't come out saying they're going to give anybody bonuses for their trouble. Although we know FanDuel has shut me down from horse racing because of my highly efficient 3-week run at Fraser Downs. Anyhow, last game I got for baseball, you guys, San Diego and San Francisco. Probably my favorite play to put down there on the board. SD versus SF. I mean, look how succinct it. 5 letters. Breaks this game down here. How could you not take the under? San Francisco's got one of the worst offensive lineups in Major League Baseball. They put up like 3 runs in 5 games. All the way out in the East Coast. Southeast Coast, as a matter of fact, in Tampa. So they got to travel back home. Bad situation. Not only do they have to travel back home, but they're taking on the Padres, divisional foe, with an absolute shit ton of familiarity. Now, the Padres offense has been, what's the word I want to use? Enough, but not good enough, right? So they're losing. They lost 2 games of the 3 against the White Sox. They put up 4 runs yesterday. They put up 2 in game 1. They got shut out in game 2. Teams off a shutout do fire back. They put up 4, 3, and 9 against the Cubs. They only won 1 of those games. So the Padres should have some firepower, but they're not winning. They're not putting enough runs on there to beat their opponent. Bottom line is, I'm looking at this game and I'm thinking, you know what? We got a bad offense on the one side in San Francisco. You got a team that's not putting enough runs on to catch wins. So they're kind of playing to the level of their competition is where I was going with that. And then I got some intersecting zeros on top of it. And I'm going to take the under 8 in this game. I got a minus 110 at BetMGM. The Giants are 10-0 to the under. You put them in the dog roll. They got less than 5 runs and struck out less than 9 times. The offense is dead and it stays dead. 10 straight unders, and they're averaging an under of 5.2 runs a game. Ain't that something? That kind of makes sense. They just don't have enough to get out of their own way. And then maybe something breaks and they play another team, and that's be the case, but not when you're playing the Padres. See, in division, the favorites after the opponent loses in extra innings are 103-47. Why is that relevant? Because that says Padres. And if the Padres aren't putting enough runs on the board to catch the wins, they're playing down to their competition. You're playing a dead offense in San Francisco. Then you got the Padres 8-0 to the under, opening a series on the road against an NL opponent. So they've got some familiarity against that squad. They're averaging 5.4 runs a game in those spots. I think it's a really good opportunity for us to take advantage of the under 8 in the Padres and San Francisco Giants game. Maybe one of my favorite spots on the board. Sports Scorebots says the Mets and Colorado Rockies has started. Oh, well. Can we get a Yerfie? Can we get the Yerfie? I could use it. You know what I mean? Could you guys use it? Now I'm sidetracked. All right. 76ers and the New York Knickerbockers, you guys. A lot of people like the Sixers today. I am not one of them. You tell us, Mikey. Okay. Juan Soto puts a ball in play. I believe we already got a runner on base. Anyhow, a lot of people like the Sixers today, and they're kind of looking at it like, it's a tricky little situation, and the Knicks really haven't been performing to the level of their opponents. Early on, they were lackluster. It looked like Atlanta was going to beat them. Now, let me do a... Oh, no, I guess he got out. Let me do a reality check with you guys. 4 months ago, I told you who was going to be playing in this NBA championship. Let's see how we're doing. Well, I told you it was going to be the Knicks and the Pistons. The Knicks got the Sixers. The Pistons got the Cavaliers. But they haven't been there before. There's a lot of strip clubs in Cleveland. They haven't played there before. They haven't been there. Okay, knock it off. Let's be grown-ups here. Then we got the Lakers and the Thunder and the Spurs and the Timberwolves. And I told you it was going to be the Thunder and the Spurs. Timberwolves inefficient. Well, the Spurs haven't been there before. What's going on with Wemby? Stop it. These guys are all fucking high-level athletes. Spurs playing the Timberwolves. So my point is this. Winners win. And they win at everything they do. So that being said, home favorites. That's where we want to play here. Game 1 of the playoffs. The team is favored to win. As long as the spread isn't egregious. Over 13 points. Opponents off of 1 day's rest. In 21 years, it's a perfect 10-0. A lot of people like the Philadelphia 76ers today. I do too. But I'm not betting with my heart. I'm betting with my real bankroll, my real head. And we're not 50 units under 500 or on a 50 more losses than wins in the NBA. That's not acceptable here. You might be able to get that somewhere else, but not here. 49% of the bets and 62% of the cash are on the Knickerbockers. It's gone from -6.5 to -7.5. So that is a bit of a correlated move. We always talk about the percentage of bets kind of being all the soup, all the tickets being written, parlays, teasers, $1 tickets, $5 tickets, everything being written is pretty much a coin flip. But 62% of the bets, typically the sharper bettors, betting in on the New York Knicks at -7.5. I'm going to tail it. Or I guess I'm going to play it, I guess I should say. We ain't tailing it. We're playing it. Come on. 2 outs. New York Mets. This is why I don't want to get, we still got 4 outs to go. So I don't want to get beat up here, but maybe not the first game of the day. All right, anyways. Speaking of them Spurs, they were laying 14.5. They're down to 9.5. You have 59% of the bets and 64% of the cash on the Timberwolves. It's come down 5 points. Noted. Also noted, home teams with the rest advantage like to win their series openers. Last game was at home. They're at home. Game number 1 of a series, 69-37. So I can't get mad at anybody that wants to be involved in the Spurs business. I decided to opt for the under. And here's the thing about the under. It's starting to come down a little bit. It went from 216.5 to 220.5. Yeah, 87% of the bets and 86% of the cash here on this thing. But doing a little bit of a deeper dive, and what do we find? Well, we saw that it's starting to kind of nestle itself back down here. The Timberwolves find themselves in a defensive-oriented squad, one of the best defenses left in basketball. And the Timberwolves particularly, the under, if they've got more than a day's rest, are 18-2 in their last 20 games. So a defensive-oriented squad. Game 1 of the playoffs, just in general, we tend to see those kind of be feel them out situations. But if the team won their last game and the spread of that last game was 5 points or more, game one of the next series, 10-2 to the under in those spots. Home teams are under in playoff openers, 9-3, but on a 7-game winning streak. So lots of reason, I think, to take a look at this under. And now we're seeing it start to creep itself back down a little bit. Just kind of gives me the little buy endorsement there for this under. Guillermo says they were slow, not down for 2. I heard it was like an hour and a half. I don't know. I can't use FanDuel. Guillermo says it's hard to fix a 19-horse field. I mean, look, he's dead last. Is this fucking Secretariat? He's dead last and he gets all the way up to the front of the field. I don't know. Is it that hard to ask everybody to pull back on the reins a little bit? Peter Gracia says, what's the ratio of yes versus no runs in first inning? Nerfy, are you asking what my Nerfy record is or what the record is in the league of Nerfy's versus? I don't have either of those pieces of information offhand, but I get it for you. I'm curious what you mean by that, Peter. Nerfies and Yerfies. It's a good question. Man, Colorado Rockies. Come on, Brazaban, you fuck. I was asking the other day, do you guys prefer to the Yerfie or the Nerfy? I think I was asking that. I can't remember where I was asking that. Was it on the live show on Saturday? I think I prefer to root for the Nerfy. No run first inning. It's not any fun. But I'd rather sit around and sweat nothing happening than hope that these boys can figure it out quickly. I know that from a metrics perspective, they do say that the majority of runs come in the first inning in baseball. Probably have to do a little fact check on that. Does he get there? Do we get a run around base? Nope. Moniak is out. Fuck. All right. Let's see if we can't get off of this thing here before we eat a pile of shit. So anyways, I got the under 220.5 in that game. Player prop wise in the NBA. So I gave you a guy to look at in the NHL. I'll give you one to look at here in the NBA. I played him. I went to Josh Hart. What do I look for? I look for the minutes, the consistency, and the number, and I want to see the smoke coming in on these guys. So Josh Hart's rebounds and assists went from 11.5 to 12.5, even to some 13.5s out there. Now, I like the rebounds and assists because you're kind of looking for a Hart player. No pun intended for Josh Hart. You're looking for the guy that kind of helps everybody else be effective, right? And getting the minutes, of course, on top of that. If you're a playmaker on the team and you're not getting the minutes, don't matter what's happening out there. So, that being said, Hart's averaging 17 rebounds and assists against the Philadelphia 76ers this year. So we're trying to take a guy that's averaging the numbers. He went for 20 when he was playing out there with Embiid being healthy. So I like that spot. I'm going to take a shot here. Like I said, it's gone from 11.5 to 12.5, and it's starting to catch juice to 13.5s out there. So I officially took Josh Hart over 12.5 rebounds and assists. I got it at minus 105. That's at BetMGM, but it is moving. It is on the move. So it kind of aligns to me with I like his matchup against Philly. The Philly's kind of been struggling against the guard in its own right. So I think this is a good matchup for Hart. So I'll give you those two. I'll give you Hart over 12.5 rebounds and assists. I'll give you a Stankoven, the old stanky leg. Peter Grassi says MLB. Yeah, I figured MLB. I was just curious if you mean like on the season, which has hit more, Nerfies or Yerfies? Peter Grassi says he likes the Nerfy too, he thinks. Yeah, I agree. Thunder Strauss in the house. What up? Appreciate you guys joining us. We are live on all social media platforms right now. We've got Facebook. We've got them all. You name one, we got it. We got Kick. We got Twitter. We got Twitch. We got YouTube. We got Facebook. We got 2 Twitters. We got shit going on everywhere, you guys. Stay tuned. It's going to be a lot of fun as we continue to build and grow this community here at the new Sports Money Network. Very excited to be doing this with you guys, man. Appreciate all you guys checking it out. I will look into that, Peter. I'll see if I can come back with an answer for you tomorrow. In the meantime, you guys, that is a load of action here today. It's a big Monday for moi. off a nice weekend. So let's see what we can do here collectively to get this cash together. I wanted to give you the sharp, respected betting information. There's a lot of things happening out there now. They like the under in that Detroit and Orlando game 7. Did that cash? Where's my ESPN at? I like to look at what cashed. You know, we obviously want to know what they're doing. We don't just want to throw it out there. 210. Tough one there, huh? I would have been under 201.5. Never. I'm scared. The Phillies and the Knicks, the 76ers and the Knicks, they like the over 212.5 on game 1. They also bought the Spurs. They bought the big number on the Spurs at -14 for game 1. So there you go. A little what do you know as it relates to sharp, respected betting. They added to it. So we've got the Spurs. They've doubled down on the Spurs. They took the Spurs at 14. They love them. They liked them at 14. They love them at 9.5. They took them again. They got the Spurs over 220. I'm on the under in that game. They've got the over in the Knicks game, over 212.5 for the New York Knicks. That is the NBA. The NHL. There's nothing yet for the NHL. As soon as I get done with the show, we'll get NHL, I'm sure. Colorado Avalanche and Tampa Bay under 5.5 for what they had yesterday. Pretty sure they cashed both of those. Major League Baseball. They got some plays in. I wonder if somebody knew something. I'll put my tinfoil hat on. Boston Red Sox plus 165, $1.65. They got the Atlanta Braves, Seattle Mariners. Jesus, under 7.5. They got the under in that game as well. That's what I'm on. They like the Reds and they like the Blue Jays as well. So there's 4 plays for you guys on the Major League Baseball side of things for sharp, respected betting information here. Yesterday, they had the Diamondbacks and the Nationals. I'm not sure if either of those cashed, did they? I don't know why I'm in a fog here. Diamondbacks and Nationals. Diamondbacks did not lose or did not win. And the Nationals did win. All right, so they went 1-1 for some plus money. They had the under 9.5 in Cleveland. They had the under 10.5 in Atlanta. They had the under 8 in Seattle, Kansas City, and they had the under in Houston. It was a big under day yesterday, so they did very well on the sharp, respected Major League Baseball betting action. That's it. Phil the Kill says, is sports money being abandoned for this network channel? Phil the Kill, we are going to rock and roll here. You can find the home here. Blake says he hit the Nerfy. Of course you did, Blake. I'm on the Nerfy. Of course you took the Nerfy. Shout out to you, though, man. Chris Warren, Phil the Kill. You can find us here at the Sports Money _network. Like-minded winning individuals trying to put their heads together to help you guys find all of your sports betting content in one place, one-stop shop for just honest information. Here to help you guys win, here to help you grow. You know, they come to us, they want to put shows on the channel. We tell them no. And then they're pissy little cunts for 2 years. So it's all good, though. You know what? We're here to win. We're here to help you guys win. And that's what it's all about. So show back up here tomorrow. We've got a full roster of programming. 9 a.m., you'll catch the morning steam. 12 p.m., you'll catch Racing with Razor. You'll catch Bases Loaded. And then 5 p.m., I'll be back to put it all together for pre-gaming with live streams for all these playoff games, man. The fellas are working hard to give you guys winning sports bets for the home of the winningest sports stream here in social media land. On behalf of the squad, good luck to you guys. Have a glorious evening.
I'm like an addict, do I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it, fuse like a magnet. Lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shit tastes sour, you should taste mine.